When you think of Denzel Washington, you imagine red carpets, thunderous applause, and a level of respect few actors ever achieve in Hollywood. What you don't picture is an airport lounge where one of the world's most recognizable faces is told, flat out, "Get out, you don't belong here." Yet that's exactly what happened when Denzel, ticket in hand, boarded his flight, only to be mistaken for someone permanently banned from the airline. The mix-up wasn't just embarrassing, it was jaw-dropping. Imagine walking into your own living room only to have someone shove you out, insisting you're an intruder. That's the level of absurdity we're talking about. But the story doesn't end there. In fact, it's only getting started. Before we continue, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell for updates. Picture the scene. Passengers in the first-class cabin sit stunned as the crew confronts Denzel, a man whose very presence has commanded respect in countless films. Here was an Oscar-winning legend being treated as if he were some rowdy stranger trying to sneak into a movie theater without a ticket. People fumbled for their phones, because who wouldn't? In today's world, if you didn't catch it on camera, did it even happen? Within minutes, multiple passengers had captured the moment, their disbelief echoing in whispered questions. Is that really Denzel Washington? And are they seriously kicking him off? The videos spread like wildfire, shooting straight to social media feeds before the plane had even taxied out. And with every share, the situation got hotter, more humiliating, and infinitely more impossible for the airline to sweep under the rug. The twist? Denzel, calm but furious, never raised his voice. He didn't have to. He had something more powerful: connections. While the crew was still stumbling through their misstep, he made a few discreet calls, the kind of calls only a man of his stature could make. By the time the plane touched down, the airline's head office had not only confirmed the blunder through passenger videos and security footage, but they had also acted on Denzel's direct influence. The staff involved were relieved of duty before their shift even ended, a punishment so swift it left the industry buzzing. Have you ever seen a superstar's patience tested in real time, and then watch as they pull strings so efficiently it feels cinematic? This was one of those moments. But here's where it gets even juicier. Airlines are notorious for dragging their feet when it comes to apologies, often relying on corporate speak so bland it feels automated. Not this time. Within hours, a public apology was issued. Every passenger in Denzel's cabin received an upgrade voucher for their next flight, as if to make up for the mortification they'd witnessed. And Denzel? He walked away with a lifetime VIP contract. A golden handshake from an airline desperate to save face. Think about that. One mistake, one outrageous blunder, and suddenly the man they tried to escort out like a nobody became the most powerful somebody in their customer roster. The irony is almost too rich to believe. Still, the fascination doesn't lie only in the fallout but in the reaction of ordinary people. Watching Denzel handle the incident with dignity, yet decisive action, struck a chord. How many times have you been brushed off by staff, misidentified, or treated unfairly, only to feel powerless to fight back? Denzel's story became a kind of wish fulfillment, the fantasy of having the clout to demand justice and actually get it instantly. People online began spinning their own versions. What if that had been me? They asked. Would anyone have believed me if I said I wasn't who they thought I was? It opened a floodgate of stories from passengers who had faced humiliations of their own while traveling, but without the platform to push back. Isn't it strange how one incident with a celebrity can suddenly shine a spotlight on the everyday frustrations we've quietly endured for years? And yet, we can't ignore the comedy in it either. Because honestly, how do you mistake Denzel Washington for anyone else? This is a man with a face, a voice, a presence that's practically impossible to overlook. It's like confusing Beyoncé with your next-door neighbor, or calling Tom Hanks the wrong guy. Even the internet had a field day. Memes flooded in. One showed a security guard squinting at Denzel with the caption, "Sir, you're clearly a threat to our hearts." Another joked, "Plot twist. They thought he was training for his next role." Humor, as always, softened the sting, turning humiliation into a moment the whole world could laugh at. Well, everyone except the airline's crew, who learned the hard way that mistakes at 30,000 feet travel fast. But beyond the laughs, there's a lesson here. The airline didn't just suffer because they humiliated a celebrity. They suffered because they underestimated the speed of truth in a world where every passenger has a camera. This wasn't the 1990s where an apology could take weeks to circulate. It was 30 minutes. 30 minutes between the blunder and irrefutable video evidence. 30 minutes before the story turned viral. And that raises the bigger question. Are corporations ready for a world where accountability can't be delayed? Where reputations can unravel in the time it takes to hit upload? And what about us, the passengers, the everyday flyers who endure long lines, delayed flights, and sometimes dismissive treatment? Denzel's experience might seem extraordinary, but isn't it really just a magnified version of what we all fear? Being wrongly judged, being silenced when we know the truth, being humiliated when we know we belong. The difference is he had the power to flip the script, and that leaves us wondering, how can we, too, find our own voice in moments where we feel powerless? The answer may not be as glamorous as a lifetime VIP contract, but it lies in small, consistent actions. Document your experiences. Speak up, even when your voice shakes. And remember that respect is not a luxury reserved for the famous. It's a right owed to every passenger, every customer, every human being. If an Oscar winner can be told, "You don't belong here," it's a wake-up call for all of us to demand better, because the truth is, belonging isn't given, it's claimed. So, here's the challenge. The next time you find yourself treated unfairly, think of Denzel's composure. Don't explode, don't retreat. Instead, stand your ground with dignity and push for accountability. Share your story because in today's world, your voice might be the one that sparks change. And as for airlines and corporations watching from the sidelines, take note, respect your customers before they remind you, in ways that could trend worldwide, why they deserved it all along. Because sometimes, justice isn't served in silence. Sometimes, justice boards the flight with a valid first-class ticket and refuses to be told to get out.